let's suppose if I'm not able to solve all the 3 questions in 40 minutes. So will I be selected?
You're also not the eldest wand of Harry Potter that if they wield you, they'll actually succeed in everything. They actually have to follow what you tell and follow that religiously. In fact, you help me in every aspect to grow as a coder and as a person, Akash, and I have to thank you for that.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to Nuskrit. So today I have Prateek Bajpai with me, who is currently placed at Commvault, and he is working as software engineer there for the last 3 months. So Prateek, welcome to my YouTube channel. And I would like you to give a brief intro about yourself to my audience.
Hi Akash and hi everyone watching. My name is Prateek Bajpai and I am currently a final year computer science and engineering student in Ranveer Singh Institute of Technology. I have been placed in Commvault along with many other offers that I have, including Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Goldman Sachs. But the reason we are sitting here today is for Commvault, and that's the company I've fallen in love with. So I've been working as a software development engineering intern for the past 3 months, and I'll be joining as a software engineer after I complete my BTech. And yeah, that's all about me.
Great. Okay. So Prateek, before moving directly to the interview process, let's talk about first your college journey. So how was it?
So the college, it has been quite a journey because before coming to college, I had no idea that coding actually is such a diverse thing. And I have been coding since I was in class 8th. So when we were in school, we used to write small amount of code, used to do the daily practicals that we were allotted and everything. But when I came to college in my first year, when my teachers also saw that I have a good interest in coding, so they advised me to go to a platform named HackerRank, because I had no idea there is a platform named HackerRank, and similar platforms like CodeChef, Codeforces are there. So I started practicing on HackerRank, and I fell in love with coding when I was in my first year. And my college has been quite supportive. Throughout these years, I have been there have been teachers who have cleared out all of my doubts, and they did not stop me from practicing, even if it meant missing out on a few classes. So yeah, college journey has been quite exciting. And even one thing I would like to say is, Akash, that you were there in college. So this success, I can attribute this to you too, because you helped me out a lot. So, yeah.
Thanks. ये तो मेरा कर्तव्य था.
I remember that day in class when you were discussing that problem of loop detection in a linked list. So I have faced that. I have got that problem multiple times in multiple interviews. So yeah,
it's a quite famous problem.
Helped me. Yeah, you actually helped me grow as a coder. So yeah.
Thanks, Prateek. But I think it was all your hard work, right? Okay, so let's continue with this. So let's talk about first Commvault. How is the company?
The company is, as I said before, it's a company you should fall in love with. So it's a product-based company. Okay. They have their own big backup suite. They're working. We have big teams working on a complete this product where we are doing backup and data protection, data recovery. And the thing about Commvault is that we are very flexible. So even the top management, like when I joined Commvault during our first 2 or 3 weeks for our induction program for our product training, the company's VP, Mr. Joe Sabu, he used to sit with us and train us on what Commvault is and how do we use the software. He's such a fun guy. So, and he's a VP. So he's the VP of the company, and he was completely chilled out. He helped us navigate through the various layers of the software. He arranged our talks with various subject matter experts who were actually working on different parts of that software. And along with that, the thing is that while working here, we are dealing with real world problems. So how to write better code, how to write code in such a way that it is running across multiple platforms is supported and everything. So yeah, that is one thing, that Commvault's work culture and coding culture is excellent, and the people here are just too knowledgeable and too good. They are very supportive. Even if I need help regarding something, I can directly approach the director or VP of development and ask out my doubts. So yeah, this is one thing I would like to say, that Commvault in this sense is just the perfect company to work with. Excellent work-life balance, and they help you in almost every aspect whenever you need help. Yeah.
Great. Very nice. मेरा भी interest जाग गया.
नहीं,
I'll think of a switch. Okay. So okay, let's talk about some hiring process. So how many, first of all, how did you apply for Commvault?
So actually it was a pool campus drive.
Okay.
So I got the link for applying for the job through my college inbox only. So we have this job inbox portal from where we can apply for jobs. So the link came up there, and it was a pool campus drive. From about everyone who applied, 12 or 13 people were shortlisted for the first round. And that first round was an MCQ plus coding round. So we 12 or 13 people, we gave that round. There were 15 MCQs. So before that, like the night before the first round, we were asked to choose between C++ or Java, because we had applied for SDE, software development engineer. They also had the option for software development engineering test, for which the language was Python. So we were asked to choose between a language. So I chose C++. So in my first round, I had 15 questions of C++ from every topic, like we had multi-threading, object-oriented concepts, data file handling. And after that, we had 3 coding questions. So coding questions were medium to hard level in difficulty. So we had a very common problem in which the basic gist of that problem was to identify the longest palindromic substring that is present in a string. Along with that, we had a variation of the paint house problem. So it was a dynamic programming based problem, and so that was the hard problem. So it took some time to do, just because when we are coding in C++, the traditional STL that we are using while coding on multiple platforms like like LeetCode or HackerRank, that STL is not available to use there. So we actually have to play a bit with pointers and all. So that's what I experienced. And along with that, there was one problem in which we had to maintain a sliding window in an array and get the range. We actually had to get the range of the minimum and maximum element.
So there were 3 coding questions.
Window. Yes, there were 3 coding questions.
Okay, so let's summarize this. In the first round, you had 15 MCQs and 3 coding questions, right?
Yes.
And you had to choose the language a day before the test.
Yes.
Okay, and how long your test run?
So the coding round was of 40 minutes. And
40 minutes. In 40 minutes, you had to solve the 3 questions.
Yes, 3 coding questions we had to solve in 40 minutes, and 25 minutes we got for an MCQ. So 25 minutes for the MCQ and 40 minutes for the coding round. And there was sectional timing. So when the MCQ timer ran off, it ran off. We couldn't use the time we saved in coding to solve up the MCQs, or we couldn't use the time we saved in solving the MCQs to solve the coding problem. So there was a sectional time limit.
Fine. So what do you think? Means if let's suppose if I'm not able to solve all the 3 questions in 40 minutes, so will I be selected? Or you can say, you can tell about yourself, ki how many questions did you do? So
I'll say I ran almost also 2 questions I ran successfully. They were 100% passed. And in the third question, there were 8 test cases and I passed 6 of them. So I made it to the next round. So 2.5 questions is what I will place as the threshold for making it to the next round.
And I think because it was pool campus drive, so in my opinion, more than 2 questions should be there, which should be successfully submitted to get shortlisted for the next round, right?
Yes, definitely. Along with the MCQs, because the MCQs were also based on, they were not simple MCQs like you get coding MCQs and various other drives. They were conceptual MCQs. You had to be thorough with your language concepts. So if you have chosen C++, you need to know how pointers work, how data file handling in C++ works, and what is object-oriented programming in C++. So you actually had to have knowledge of all these topics in order to make it through the MCQs, because the MCQs also played a vital role in progressing to the next round.
Fine. So then you got shortlisted for the next round.
Yes.
What was the next round?
So the next round was actually, I got the result 2 or 3 days later. I received a call from the training and placement department of my college that I made it to the next round. Okay. So the next round is this is the process. The interview process of Commvault makes it unique. So this is the round that actually stands out for Commvault, because I haven't seen no other interview process like this. So this was a 6 to 7 hour long coding round, where we had to sit at 8 a.m. in the morning, and there was the complete panel. It was assigned to us a day before. So I'll actually tell you what happened the day before, then I'll progress to the coding round. So we got this call that we have made it to the next round, and shortly I received an email that we have been allocated some virtual machines for coding. And thereafter, we had a meetup with the company officials. Mr. Joe Sabu was there, the VP of development, along with the campus recruitment team and everyone. So they told us that what to expect. So they told us that there will be a long coding round where a panelist will be sitting with us, and we'll be given a problem to code upon. So it was a big problem. So we first actually had to design it. There should be proper class design and everything. And then we had to write a working code for the same problem. So we were given access to the virtual machines. We had to code a day before, so we can get used to the environment. We can use the debugger. We use Visual Studio Code for coding on that virtual machine. So we were given access to Visual Studio Code also. And we were told that we have to join the call 8 a.m. in the morning, the next morning. So I joined the call, and then there was a discussion for 45 to 60 minutes regarding the problem statement. The problem statement that was given to me was I had to design a complete file system. So a file system in a sense that we should be able to create a new file. We should be able to delete the existing files. And we are talking about text files right now. So we tested our code on text.
Okay, you had to perform the CRUD operations on file, not on the data.
Yes.
Okay.
And
using C++.
Along with that, using C++, using the language that we chose a day before our first round.
Got it.
So either Java or C++. So that was a very vital step, because whatever language we'll choose before round one, so when we move to this round, the panelists that will be assigned to us will be from that particular domain only.
Okay.
So I chose C++. So the panelist who was allocated to me, he was an expert in C++. So I had to design a file system, and also the thing in that file system was there had to be version control also. So yeah, so there could be modifications in the files. We had to save all the versions of all the files and restore back to any particular version that we had to at a given point of time. And one more thing about this coding round was there was elimination within intervals. So if you could not come up with a good class design, so you will be asked to leave the meeting by the panelists. That they'll politely ask you to leave that. If you are not able to, so they'll give you around 60 minutes to get thorough with the design. 45 to 60 minutes you have to design, you get to design the class and everything. But if you're not able to come up with a good design and good logic, then they'll ask you to leave. And also during the whole coding round, the panelist sits with you, and if you are not making satisfactory progress, they'll very politely ask you to leave, because if you have not made a progress, then there are no chances you'll be making it in the future also, in the given time also. So the panelists, they want you to succeed. So whenever they're sitting there, I remember getting stuck in a few places. So my panelists, they asked me to actually take few deep breaths and concentrate on where was I going wrong. So the panelists are nice. They'll always want you to succeed. Unless and unless you're doing something horribly wrong, they'll never ask you to leave. So it's just a thing of saying that if you're not doing it right, they'll ask you to leave, obviously, but they want you to succeed. So I remember I had to allocate some buffers for storing some data. So I had to allocate buffer A and buffer B, and I messed up with the size. So size B was, the size of buffer B was given to size A, and size of buffer A was given to buffer B. So I messed up there, and I remember scratching my head and sweating in nervousness that what actually had gone wrong and why the code was not running. So I remember the panelists pointing out that I have probably messed up with the size somewhere. So I need to go ahead and check that what I'm going wrong, because they'll not exactly pinpoint the problem, but they'll give you a very nice hint that where you're going wrong. And with the help of that hint, I was able to succeed. And also they'll try their best to keep you calm and composed, because 7 or 8 hours coding non-stop, it is a big task for especially a person who has not graduated college. Because when I was giving this interview, I was in my 3rd year only, 6th semester. So yeah, that was quite an experience. And this particular 6 or 7 hour coding round, the long coding round as we call it, this is a highlighting feature of the Commvault interview process. And as I said, they want you to succeed. So it's a good experience. And this particular coding round, it's a very nice experience.
So what do you think? You have to perform really good in this case, or you should be good at concepts like OOD, object-oriented programming? Means implementing the complete problem will be the sign of shortlisting to the next interview, or having good knowledge of class design and all, and having good conceptual knowledge will be enough to get shortlisted for the next round. What do you think?
So
just to summarize this round.
Yes. So what happens is, in this round, this is the major deciding round. So in this round, the panelists who will be sitting with you, they'll be judging you on all the aspects. How are your design skills? What kind of logic do you write? How are your problem solving skills? So suppose you mess up in one particular domain, then also they might consider you. There are chances that they might not give you a full-time offer. They might give you an internship offer. But yes, you need to perform well. But I have seen cases that you need not, because 6 and 7 hours is not enough to write the whole problem, write code for the whole problem. But if you have done well, if you have written some nice class design, and thereafter you have a good working code, even though it does not satisfy the complete functionality as they ask, you'll make forward to the next round.
Okay, cool.
There are chances that you might not get a full-time offer, you might get an internship, but that's up to them how they decide, because the panelists, they are very senior members of the team. So they judge you on multiple aspects. So it's completely up to them. But yes, you do have to, but one thing, no doubt, you actually have to be very good in your design, because if you can't design, they'll ask you to leave. Because I had another person, so one panelist usually gets 2 or 3 people. So during that time when I was having my interview, so I saw that person had to leave in 45 or 60 minutes maybe. So I'm guessing that maybe he must have messed up on the design pretty bad. So yeah, that could be a case.
Okay. So then you were shortlisted for the next round.
I slept. So I ended this this interview. They said that the HR will go and get back to you, and I slept. I went inside my blanket and I slept, and I was woken up by a call about an hour or 2 later that the panelist is waiting for you in the meeting. I had not checked my mail. They had actually sent me the meeting link, so I had not checked it. So I went. Yeah, so I joined the meeting. I had the panelist who was with me during the long coding round. Along with that, I also had another senior member of the team, and this was actually a DSA round plus a CSF round. So they asked you, they went into the details of your project. Then wanted to know what kind of a person you are. They had a brief introduction. I remember that during my interview, the panelists were very interested in my project, because my project it was actually based on deep learning and everything. So they took genuine and very good interest in my project. So I was quite happy with that, because I also put forward a lot of passion in that project. After that, they gave me the question for DSA round. So it was a DSA coding round. They asked me to fire up any editor on my laptop and write the code. So it was a problem where I had to identify all the substrings inside a string, which had all the vowels, but only vowels. So it should be containing all the 5 vowels of the English alphabet, but that substring should not contain any consonant. So this question was there, and I remember messing up really bad inside my loops. So I had the logic spot on, so everything was good. And for some reason, I had written a very weird loop, and the problem was failing because I was running it on VS Code, and the code was not running properly. So some substrings were getting printed repeatedly, and the last substrings are not getting printed at all. So again, the panelists are so supportive in Commvault that they actually asked me to scroll up and look inside that loop, that where am I doing it wrong. And I remember the panelists actually pointing it out, that why have I written that particular statement. So that particular statement was the thing that where I was messing up, along with a few things. So yeah, I wrote a good code for this one, got it running. Then there was this particular question where I had to design a least frequently used cache. So I remember discussing this question along with you two, Akash, during one of our sessions in the evening.
I remember.
So yeah,
I think we did this problem in entire 1.5 an hour.
Yes, we took the complete span of that interview, and that's actually the day you gave us the good news of your selection in your particular company. So I designed that solution, and the panelists were very supportive throughout the interview process. So that was it. Then they asked a few basic questions regarding object-oriented concepts in C++, pointers in C, and there were some questions regarding operating systems and all. But overall, it was a very nice process, and the interviewers were, as it is, they were very supportive.
Okay, so it was 1 hour or 2 hour? Means 1 hour or half an hour?
Oh, it went about 90 minutes, I will say.
Okay,
so
1.5 an hour.
For 90 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and there were 2 coding questions majorly, and the questions were around from operating system and basic language concepts, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So far we have discussed about 3 rounds. The first one is online test. The second was the you can say it as machine round or whatever you want to say, which went for around 7 to 8 hours, right?
Yeah, easily 7 to 8 hours. Easily.
Okay. Yeah. Then the third round was this DSA round, in which DSA and computer science fundamentals, we can say, right? So okay, fine. Then there were more rounds, or that was it?
That was it. So I went. So I had not eaten anything for the day just because of the nervousness, and as it is, it was a long time. So I was sitting in the canteen, and I received a call from my friend. Yeah, I was in college. So I received a call from my friend that. So my friend also made it through this round. So I received the mail. Somehow it got bounced that there was a meeting that was there. We had to join it in the evening. So I received a call from my friend that why am I not in the meeting? They're calling for you. And then immediately, hurriedly joined that meeting. And in that meeting, we were told that we have finally made it. So from that pool campus drive, it had people from BITS, it had people from IITs. So 4 of us in that particular day made it to Commvault, and
so you 4 were selected from your college, right?
2 were selected from my college. 1 was from a particular IIT, and 1 was from a college in Uttarakhand.
Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So finally you were selected.
Yes, I was selected, and one of the best interview processes. And like I'll say, I'm enjoying working at this place so much. So yeah, it was completely worth it. That whole day of grinding myself to get into this company, everything was worth it.
So you're wearing a t-shirt of Commvault, right?
Yes, I'm wearing a t-shirt of Commvault. Even this particular interaction that we are having, I'm having it on the setup of Commvault. Actually, I would like to tell you that we received a huge joining kit from Commvault. It had 2 big monitors, a laptop, each of the peripheral devices that we had to attach with it, chocolates, pizzas, and bag, mug, and everything. Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, it was a wonderful experience. I'd like to say that.
Okay, so now let's discuss about what do you suggest to your juniors, because Commvault is again will be hiring, And so what do you recommend to your particular juniors? How should they prepare? What are the topics that you should means you think that they should prepare? So how do you like to conclude this thing?
For my juniors, the best advice that I could give them is they should first of all be very particular about their language. So there should not be any deviations. If they have chosen Python as their medium, so they should be very consistent on Python, and they should be familiar with each and every concept, because if Python is there, you should know how memory is managed in Python and each and everything that is associated with the language Python. Likewise for C++, if you're using C++, then you should have the idea about the pointers and memory management that is done in C, how the STL of C++ works. Along with that, how is object-oriented programming done in C++? How is file handling? Because as we saw during this interview, if we had no idea about the file handling part of C++, no one would have made it. So this is one thing. Along with that, be very particular about computer science fundamentals, especially memory management, is everything that you get in operating systems. So Commvault loves to ask things pertaining to operating systems. And even as I'm working in Commvault, I'm seeing that the code we are writing, we have to directly interact with the operating system. So there should be no hiccups in what language you have chosen and how you should proceed with it. So the thing that I would suggest is be very particular about the language and concepts from operating system and everything. But operating system is one thing you should be very particular about.
Yeah, and I think this is for every company.
Yeah, true.
Operating system is the subject that you should really read this subject in very deeper way.
True, because as it is the heart and soul of computer science. Because if you don't know operating system, you cannot interact with the system by yourself. So yeah, so operating systems is very important.
Yeah, and I think there are lots of topics also from operating system that we that we normally use in our systems also while designing systems.
Yeah,
concurrency.
True. The biggest one is concurrency. Yes.
Yeah, means everywhere. ठीक है, तो करना तो यार सभी कुछ है, सारे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स तो पढ़ने ही है ना, कुछ भी कहीं से भी पूछा जा सकता है, दैट इज वन थिंग. सब कुछ करना है, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम भी करना है, अच्छे से करना है, नॉलेज के साथ करना है. लैंग्वेज पे डिपेंडेंट ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि तुम्हें ये आना चाहिए, कोई भी एक लैंग्वेज कर लो, अच्छे से कर लो, ये चीज हम कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं. ठीक है,
you should be the godfather of your language that in which you are coding.
एग्जैक्टली. वर्टिकल स्केलिंग अलग लेवल पे होनी चाहिए, है ना. हॉरिजॉन्टली आप कितना भी स्केल कर लो, बट किसी एक लैंग्वेज में आपको वर्टिकल स्केल करना है. दैट इज वन थिंग दैट वी कैन कंक्लूड फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर कंपनी.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Anything specific, Prateek, you want to add?
That is it, because from what I have seen is people don't know about Commvault, what their interview process is, because when people are even searching the internet for Commvault interview process, they are getting very ambiguous answers. They don't know what is coming up for them when they're sitting in that long coding round. It is not tough. So the articles that I find on the internet, they are very exaggerating. When you actually sit for that process, the panelists that will be there with you, they're there to help you. And if you actually know what you have to do, if you actually make sense out of your coding, the panelists will understand that and they'll help you in every possible way. So don't be afraid. It is not that tough. You just need to know what to do and how to do. And knowing that is not tough if you have already managed to crack the first round. So just be very focused, and nervousness is a thing. When you're sitting in that interview, you have to be nervous because it's a 6 to 7 hour long coding round. You could be considered a god if you're not nervous. So just relish that nervousness, and that the people are there to help you. So they'll always help you if you are progressing, if you are making good progress.
Fine. Okay, one question I would like to ask, Prateek. How did my training help you? And if it helped, so how did it help?
It helped me grow as a coder and as a person, because when I used to write code before interacting with you, I'd never thought of the various factors that could be affecting the performance of my code. I just used to insert whatever data structures I wanted to use, whatever algorithms I wanted to use. Suppose I faced a time limit error, I would then proceed to solve it. While training with you, I actually got the insight that how to avoid those particular problems that we face, like time limit exceeded, memory limit exceeded in the very first place. So that's why I attribute myself growing as a coder to you, because you actually help me see that what are the right approaches to solve a particular problem, how to break down a particular problem into various sub-problems, how to tackle each of the sub-problems separately, and then how to build up a solution as a whole. So that helped me a lot. The various problems that we discussed over a period of, suppose, I don't know, maybe a year or what, but that helped me a lot. I never used to lead code before you telling me that there is actually a platform known as lead code. So I had no idea about HackerRank. When I got to know about HackerRank, I spent 3 years on HackerRank. Then you came, introduced me to lead code, and I started lead code. So yeah, you helped me in every aspect to grow as a coder and as a person, Akash, and I have to thank you for that.
Yeah. Thanks, Prateek. Thanks. Yeah, it was great time with you all guys.
Yeah.
And currently we are training your juniors, and I hope they will also give the result like this more than
Yes.
much better than you guys did. And I'm putting all my efforts. So let's hope
I
for the
hope
best.
if they have you, then they don't have to actually worry for anything else. But yes, they do have to follow what you tell.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
You're also not the Elder's Wand of Harry Potter that if they wield you, they'll actually succeed in everything. They actually have to follow what you tell and follow that religiously, in fact.
So I think that's it from our side. Thanks, Prateek, for giving your interview experience for Commvault. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Akash. Thank you, Mr.